The avoidant person often displays paradoxical relationship with physical intimacy, where they pursue encounters with intensity that contradicts their emotional unavailability and fear of vulnerability. Their heightened drive for physical connection operates independently from their capacity for emotional intimacy, creating confusing dynamic where they seek bodies without attachment and sensation without depth. This pattern stems from complex psychological mechanisms where physical intimacy serves specific defensive functions that protect against the vulnerability they associate with genuine emotional connection. Understanding these dynamics reveals why avoidants may engage in behaviors that seem contradictory to their overall relationship patterns: physical intimacy without emotional risk. The avoidant person experiences physical connection as a safe outlet for intimacy needs that does not require the emotional vulnerability they find terrifying. Physical encounters allow them to experience closeness, validation, and human connection while maintaining the emotional distance that protects their sense of autonomy and control. They can engage bodies without engaging hearts, satisfying biological and psychological needs for connection without risking the exposure that emotional intimacy demands. This separation of physical and emotional intimacy serves their defensive system perfectly, providing the benefits of human contact without the perceived dangers of genuine attachment. They pursue physical encounters with intensity because these interactions fulfill their need for validation and connection while preserving their protected emotional fortress. The drive stems not from excessive physical need but from physical intimacy being the only form of closeness they can safely access without triggering their fear of vulnerability and loss of self-validation without commitment or accountability. The avoidant person uses physical encounters as a source of validation and desirability confirmation that requires no sustained effort or emotional reciprocity. Each new conquest or encounter provides temporary boost to their self-worth and sense of attractiveness without demanding the consistency and emotional availability that committed relationships require. They can collect validation through bodies without investing themselves emotionally or accepting responsibility for others' feelings and expectations. This pattern allows them to maintain their identity as independent and desirable while avoiding the vulnerability of being truly known by one person over time. Multiple encounters or partners prevent anyone from getting close enough to see their wounds or trigger their fear of engulfment. The variety and novelty protect them from the familiarity that breeds intimacy, keeping all connections at surface level where they feel safest. Their heightened pursuit of physical connection serves as defense mechanism against the deeper intimacy they unconsciously crave, but consciously reject escape from emotional intimacy through physical distraction. The avoidant person often intensifies their pursuit of physical encounters when emotional intimacy in their primary relationship threatens to exceed their comfort threshold. Physical connection with others serves as pressure release valve that allows them to escape the vulnerability building within committed partnership when their partner's love, consistency, or emotional availability triggers their fear of engulfment. They seek physical distraction with others to restore their sense of independence and control. This pattern explains why avoidants may engage in behaviors that seem like betrayal despite claiming to care about their partners. The physical encounters represent not desire for those specific people but desperate attempt to escape the emotional intensity and vulnerability their primary relationship demands. They use bodies as barriers against intimacy rather than pathways toward it, creating distance through physical connection with others that paradoxically prevents deeper emotional connection with their committed partner. The addiction to novelty and chase. The avoidant person becomes psychologically dependent on the excitement and validation that comes from pursuit and conquest rather than sustained intimacy. The initial phases of attraction provide intense stimulation and validation without requiring vulnerability or long-term emotional investment. Once familiarity replaces novelty and depth threatens to replace surface connection, they lose interest and seek the next source of validation and excitement.